Hey everyone, this is Eric with Z Design and Build, and I want to talk to you guys about one of our awesome clients projects that we did and give you guys a walkthrough and more in-depth process of how we did it all. So this is a multi-generational project for a client of ours that wanted to have her son and his family move in with her. And so we created a basement ADU for her to live in while her son and his family were able to move upstairs. One of the main requests that the client wanted was to have a true separate unit downstairs in case she wanted to rent it out instead of having her son move in. The uniqueness on this project was that her husband had just been diagnosed with dementia. He had moved into a home, really touched on our hearts to make sure that she got as many of her wish list as possible on this project. A few items that she wanted was to have a separate bedroom, a separate kitchenette, and then a living space that she could still enjoy time without having to be in like a studio basement kind of apartment. One of the things that she did ask for was built-in cabinetry. She had a lot of keepsakes that she wanted to have showcased into her space. So we were able to do some custom furniture from one of our cabinet companies, light up shelving and light up glass cabinetry doors so she could showcase her bowls, her trinkets, and all that kind of stuff. Of course, with split level homes and working in basements, we're dealing with a foundation that is kind of offset. So we have to work around walls that are usually not flat from floor to ceiling. Also with this home, it had recessed drop-down ceiling that we removed, added drywall, and so we were also able to work a lot easier with running new electrical, new LED lighting, hide like cables and a lot of other items that were more prominent in the basement itself. Due to the fact that the fireplace was still a wood burning fireplace and she didn't want to deal with a wood burning fireplace, we were able to remove the brick and do a really cool shiplap feature around what we added was an electric fireplace. One of the other real tricks to these homes is giving it a lot of headroom. Some homes will, especially in the 70s, the basement ceilings might have been a little bit lower. With the drop-down ceiling, as we removed it, we gained about, I think, another 6 or 7, 8 inches even, which is fairly significant, especially if you have a 7.6. Now you have an 8-foot ceiling. One of the things that we usually ask when we do client intakes and client appointments is design inspirations. Google, Pinterest, house images, that kind of stuff. So that way we can understand their designs and their taste. It's not our home, it's our client's home. So giving them the opportunity of kind of spelling out exactly who they are, what they like, and bringing out their dream of what they're wanting to have in their space. The client said that she'd like to have a frameless style cabinetry in the kitchenette. We were able to provide her with some samples to show the different styles that we could provide her for those cabinets. We get pretty detailed when it comes to each of the rooms because I like to think about 5 steps ahead. Again, it was going to be a separate unit altogether, bringing a washer and dryer down into the space, having an opportunity where she had the full functions that any normal house or home would have. We were able to provide her with an 18-inch dishwasher, a range hood, so then we could easily give her a plug-in cooktop, and also a fairly decent sized refrigerator. It wasn't like a normal width refrigerator, but it definitely still had a separate freezer, which is obviously nicer. One of the biggest challenges in a space like this is maximizing space. And so even though I'm super happy and super thankful to be able to have done this project for this client, we still had we had a few trade-offs that we had to deal with as well. And really that comes with any project. Again, we didn't bring in an oven per se. She wanted to cook. So the opportunity to compromise and have a plug-in cooktop, an electric plug-in cooktop that could be stored away, but still gaining a lot of that counter space. Because if you look at the pictures, there's really only one countertop. We're on the sink location. So countertop space was pivotal. And if we were to take it up by about half that space with an oven, you really lose on the rest of that space. So we gave in to the cooktop that can be stored, hidden away, and then still gaining that countertop space back into it. And of course, maximizing space, because we brought in an 18-inch dishwasher where normal dishwashers are 24 inches. And then being able to find a refrigerator that was significant enough to have her hold a lot of items in the refrigerator and the freezer without it being one of those mini fridges that goes under a countertop as well. One of the other aspects, especially in that kitchenette space, was the opportunity of bringing barn doors into the situation. And a pre-hung door would make it more impossible or less likely for her to be able to put dressers and furniture around. So we were able to use barn doors that were inside the kitchenette that would not impede in space in the walls, more mainly in the bedroom itself. One of the other things that we did add on, which was a really cool feature, was turning a half bath into a 3/4 bath. And what that meant was adding a shower. We did I believe it was a full 60-inch shower pan in there. So we did some groundwork and ran new plumbing to gain that new drain for the shower. And it was nice because the other feature of that bathroom was we relocated the door from outside the basement hallway into her new space. A few steps that we do to bring the client into the process is doing guided tours during the construction, showing them their new layouts, giving them their ideas of what the space is going to look like, whether that be during framing, drywall, when the painting is completed, all that kind of jazz. Another time that we like to include our clients in is what we call homework for them. Allocations, the choices, the cabinet layouts, the design, the paint colors, whatever it might be, we like to have them be included in that process. So it makes it feel like from A to Z, they're a part of it, because it's really their dream coming true. It was a really fun project to work on, and multi-generational living is becoming more prominent in the Seattle area or the surrounding area as well. There's a lot more changes in laws and regulations where they're allowing ADUs and even DADUs, which are separated units itself. Of all the layouts, split levels are one of the easier homes to work with building an ADU into. One of the most specific things I'm proud of on this project is the fireplace wall. The custom cabinets, the electric fireplace that's built in, the shiplap, and also just the built-in LED lighting, the hidden LED lighting that is inside those cabinets. Really across the board, putting that all together it's a wow factor. It's one of the first things you see when you walk into the home or into the space. And it's a conversation starter. It really is. And so I enjoy giving those little details for a client, so they always have a wow factor from the first time they go into their house till 5 years later. They're still enjoying their space. And if you're interested in a project like this, feel free, reach out to us, give us a call, email. We'd love to explore the possibilities with you and help in any way we can.